And I think it's hard for people to just start the thought process if they haven't had a life event that triggered that.
Hmm.
They're like, well, I don't even know where to start. Well, we created a very simple survey that takes less than 5 minutes for people to complete.
Hmm.
You can either do it digitally or on paper, and it's just yes or no questions. You just check boxes, so it's nothing difficult to complete. But the purpose is just to start getting a few thoughts on paper, and we get those results. And what we do with families when they submit those results is we then schedule a call to walk through your answers, because what we found is that by just having yes or no boxes, you can't always articulate
Right.
what you're really thinking, but it's a very simple conversation starter. There's no obligation to complete the survey. We'll provide your results back to you. So if you're watching this video or these videos, there should be a link to either complete the digital survey, which you can do right online, or request a paper version if you want to do it on paper and send it back in either through email, fax, or mail. What I encourage you is, if you don't already have this a beneficiary liquidity plan in place, even if in your mind you think you have a plan, I'm going to tell you that 99% of people's plans don't work the way they think.
I
I
agree.
encourage you to take just a few minutes to complete the survey. Someone will reach out to you on our team to discuss your answers. And then you'll have a better idea of vision of, do you need to make any changes? Do I need to take any next steps? Do I want to go fully plan and pick everything out? Or do I just want to make sure that I have a beneficiary liquidity plan so it's not a burden? So I encourage you to click on that link, complete the survey. I think that's an easy, non-threatening step for you to get started, because like John said, the only things that are guaranteed in this life are death and taxes. And we want to make sure that on the worst days of your family's life, the day you pass away, it's not a burden and not cost you anything to fix the problem. John, do you have anything you want to add on that as well?
Just to keep, and I will double back on the thing that you underscored most. Like, we understand that people don't want to go into funeral homes and pick out caskets and urns. I understand that. And this is why BLP exists. Because, like I said before, if we're running along, there's an emotional choice and there's a financial choice. Those things meet up, and they tend to run closer than most people think. So if you can eliminate probably one of the biggest decisions, which is financial, start there. I mean, as a funeral director, I'm trained to get people through arrangements with no plan at all. But if they've met with a financial advisor or an attorney or a planning professional, and they said, look, and we've worked together to give them resources on average costs, we've done a decent job to get them at least prepared financially and what that cost would be over time rising. So the funeral professional that meets with them is already ahead, because someone like you, someone like myself, someone like our partners that are attorneys will say, look, based on kind of pie in the sky, what you're thinking, you don't need to make any choices today, but you decided you want cremation with a viewing at the funeral home and followed by mass at St. Paul's. Like, John's informed us, here's our average sheet, right? That's going to be today around $7,000. You're 65 years old. Let's talk about what that cost is going to be 10 years from now, just to plan accordingly. And that's a simple conversation that covers a lot of ground. And if that funeral director knows is what that family's planning for, and it's paid for, we're just that much farther ahead. So don't think that these choices have to be made from top to bottom. Like you said, we're trying to hybrid that and put the emphasis that cost is a factor, tax and death, only thing guaranteed in life. And the other thing is you're guaranteed in life, or not guaranteed, I should say, is when and where you will die. That's the other piece, the final piece. When and where you will die is still a mystery for all of us. And having a financial plan for that is huge. And let's not to mention that people always don't die at home or at the hospital, right? They could be in California visiting their kids, and we need to get that individual back. So there's so many scenarios. When
We
and
didn't
where
even get into how much that costs.
we did not, but I will leave you with this as a teaser for another video. When I was working as a funeral director, like day to day, we served the Greek community here in Metro Detroit frequently, and a gentleman had died in Greece, and of course they were the family was planning on bringing him home to the U.S. in Metro Detroit. Take a guess how much that cost, Phil.
I don't want to overshoot, but I would guess $15,000.
You're right on the mark. You're right on the mark, and we haven't even started planning the funeral yet. That was just for services to get this person back from Greece. Scenario B, Mexico, right? People go to Mexico all the time for vacation. Don't die in Cancun, please, because the negotiations that take place between funeral homes down there, start at 20, and we can usually, but it's not a position you want to be in to not have financial backing ahead of time for a situation like that. So probably worst case scenario, but it happens all the time.
Right. Understood.
Like Florida, Texas, not necessarily Mexico, but yeah. So,
and I believe technically you're not supposed to take ashes across state lines in your car either.
Well, you can do that. They're just supposed to be accessible. If you fly them, you have to be, able to be accessed to the urn. Those are all things that we can cover on.
There's a lot of rules that people don't even understand what that looks like.
Yeah. So, and that's why we're here, and that's why we'll continue to do these quick calls to give people reputable information.
Well, let's start by, if you're listening today, please fill out the survey. It only take less than 5 minutes. We'll schedule a call. We can talk through the answers. It's an easy first step without you having to mentally lock in on what you want to do. It's just an easy way to start getting the thoughts flowing.
Yep.
And I promise it'll be an easy path, and it doesn't cost anything to put a beneficiary liquidity plan in place. So thank you, John, for being on. And I can't wait to do some more videos with you.
My pleasure. Thanks again, Phil.